No, I'm just saying, like, there was better names than that. Of course he's getting his ass busted, bro. Come on, man. It's John Stockton.
Is getting any buckets on you?
No, that pick and roll to the, that don't, they gotta remember, he gotta play one-on-one. You gotta try to score on me. My rookie year, I think I gave him like 27, easy. Doop, doop, doop.
Congratulating John Stockton, who just is a marvel. He finishes with 26 to lead all scorers on 7-11 shooting, 12 of 12 from the line.
John Stockton, you guys are little. Like, you guys, like you guys are deep. These are defensive guys. Like it became a joke.
Which plays 40 years of age and beyond. 10 players. Well, there's another steal for Stockton.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
As I'm sure you guys know, Gilbert Arenas isn't a big fan of the 1980s or 1990s. And really anything pre-Gilbert's era to him, it's trash, garbage, unwatchable, and the players in those eras couldn't survive in the 2000s, 2010s, or 2020s.
80s basketball, right? It was tougher. Shut up. Let it go. 80s cannot compete with 90s, 2000s, and now.
So stopping Gilbert's idiocy right there, when you're talking about NBA eras, the 80s is not just some box every player they played in a decade time period in the 80s. A lot of players in that era played in the 90s, even the 2000s. Case in point, someone like John Stockton. John Stockton was an all-star in 3 different decades. The 1980s when he's under 25 years old, the 90s in his prime, and even the 2000s nearing age 40. And looking at Stockton approaching 40 in the year 2002, still holding his own for the best offensive players in the league, averaging 13.2 points, 8.2 dimes, nearly 2 steals, on phenomenal shooting. And looking at the advanced metrics, John Stockton was a top 10 offensive player in the league, ranking 11th in win shares, 11th in PER, 13th in offensive plus minus, and 7th in offensive rating. John Stockton approaching age 40 was still highly effective in the 2000s in Gilbert's era. Now, with that context being added, Gilbert himself, he went on record saying John Stockton, when he played him, he got cooked and he dominated Stockton, who was nearly 40.
No, I'm just saying, like, there was better names than that. Of course he's getting his ass busted, bro. Come on, man. It's John Stockton.
Is getting any buckets on you?
That pick and roll to the, that don't, they gotta remember, he gotta play one-on-one. You gotta try to score on me. My rookie year, I think I gave him like 27, easy. Doop, doop, doop. Doop, doop, doop. None of that. I don't know what defense y'all was playing back then, but all that hand checking, that don't work when the kid is going downhill.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
Now, stopping Gil right there, to say he was giving John Stockton buckets, I guess in his mind that actually happened. But looking at the actual game film, the game logs, John Stockton was kind of cooking Gil at age 40. As looking at Gil's rookie season, they met 3 different times that season. And Stockton versus Gilbert head-to-head, averaged more points, assists, boards, steals, blocks on better shooting. And of course Stockton was 3-0 versus Gil's Warriors. Now those stats right there, that's one story, but to be fair to Gilbert, as a rookie, he wasn't getting heavy minutes every single game, as in one of those games only played 9 minutes. So that game really isn't fair to Gilbert to say Stockton abused him in that matchup. Now the other 2 games, both these guys played 25 plus minutes. These 2 games you can evaluate a head-to-head matchup. And when you do that, Stockton still outplayed Gilbert. As in the first meeting, Stockton had a smooth 13-15 with 2 steals, only taking 8 shots. Gilbert was 2 of 6 shooting and had a measly 6 points.
Let it rain! Rain dance! Let it rain! Let it rain!
Of course he's getting his ass busted, bro. Come on, man. It's John Stockton.
And one last thing I do want to highlight, those 15 dimes by Stockton. He's the oldest player in NBA history till this day to have 15 or more dimes in an NBA game. And of course, came to the detriment of one Gilbert Arenas. Now, looking at their second matchup when they both played big time minutes, Stockton in this game, once again, destroyed Gil in a lopsided affair. As Stockton, 26 points, 9 assists, 4 steals on 7-11 shooting. I mean, this game from Stockton, an absolute masterclass on Gil's home floor. And to refresh Gil's memory, that quote-unquote slow pick and roll, the outdated pick and roll, Stockton in the fourth quarter, time and time again, killed Gilbert with the pick and roll.
Pick and roll, like pick and roll to the, that don't.
Stockton dropping it in. Biggest shot of the night.
Pick and roll, like pick and roll to the, that don't.
Stockton Malone. Here's the pick and roll. They've run forever.
Stockton wanted to use more time.
Stockton calling his own number.
I'm guessing Gilbert somehow got amnesia, his memory's a little bit fuzzy, because that game versus John Stockton was an absolute bloodbath. And looking at the fourth quarter, it's even worse. Stockton in the fourth quarter, 16 points, a game high, nearly half his team's points. 1 assist, 4-6 shooting, perfect from the line, was a +2. Gilbert in the fourth quarter, 3 points, 1 of 5 shooting, was a -5. John Stockton in the fourth quarter alone, scoring 16 points, equaled Gilbert for the entire game. And the fourth quarter actually found Gilbert out at the game icing free throws to hand Golden State loss number 60.
I think it's going to be a pick and roll. What do you think?
Foul. Arenas has just fouled out of the game.
And Stockton does that.
Malone under control. Outshoot Utah.
So right there, the facts, the data, the actual game film, not on Gilbert's side. But to be fair to Gilbert, him being a rookie, being a second-year player, not much experience, him getting cooked by Stockton shouldn't be that big of a deal. But if you're Gilbert, don't lie, deceive, and try to trash John Stockton like you destroyed him from the jump. Because obviously, you didn't.
Like even like GP, like he was a defensive stopper. Like he was literally a defensive stopper. Like my second year, I'm posting him up. You're little. You're 185. This is 180. You're 185. Get the fuck out of here. Like I was afraid of you my rookie year. I don't know why. Like you're little. Like John Stockton. You guys are little. Right. Like you guys you guys are deep. These defensive guys. Like it became a joke.
Now, stopping it right there, Gilbert yet again, trashing point guards in the 1990s that he quote-unquote dominated in the 2000s. And looking at GP in the 2000s, I mean, still an all-star player, a great defensive player, for really half that decade. Was he prime Gary Payton, 96 Gary Payton? No, not really. Still a great player, great defender, of course. Now, looking at Gilbert versus Gary Payton in 2003, at this point GP was 34 years old and played Gilbert's Warriors 3 different times, twice in Seattle and once in Milwaukee. And of course, Gary's team versus Gilbert, they went 3-0. But look at the actual stats, the numbers. I mean, it is fairly even, and Gilbert kind of held his own. Now, for a player like Gilbert putting up good stats, for him, that's all he has to do. For someone like Payton, his goal is actually winning the game and being victorious. So, putting these stats aside, look at the actual game logs, the 3 matchups. Game 1, GP versus Arenas, Gary had 26 and 10 and cruised to a 13-point victory.
You're little. You're 185. This is 180.
Payton working on Arenas, but right by him without his nice.
Pick and roll, like pick and roll to the, that don't.
Before we take the shot. And they're just steady dose of pick and rolls right now.
3.5 minutes left. Long distance.
Please don't take this the wrong way, sir, but your goose is cooked.
Now, looking past their first meeting in Golden State, their second meeting took place in Seattle on January 28th. And this game, unlike the first game, was down to the wire. As in the final winning seconds, it was tied 88-88. And who do you think, with the game hanging in the balance, hit the big-time shot? Of course, Gary Payton hitting a 3-pointer with 4.2 seconds left. Unfortunately, Gary Payton's game winner and Gilbert's missed game winner is not on film. We have articles, play-by-play data to verify it happened, but the actual game film I couldn't find.
That's a damn shame.
Now, when speaking about game winners' big-time shots, we have their third game, this time in Milwaukee. And luckily for this game, we have actual footage of Gary Payton putting up 28 and 10 on a smooth 50% shooting.
Certainly a career high for Murphy. Payton spins away from Arena. Just 4 turnovers tonight, and they have not given up any points off the turn.
GP at age 34 putting up 28 and 10 in the dead ball era. I mean, that is highly, highly impressive. And when it came to the biggest shot of the game to force overtime, Milwaukee's ball down by 3. Who hit the big-time shot to force OT?
2 tonight. Payton. Yes! Maker. Look, outlet
all the way. Look at the screen by Kukoc.
The entire point of this video is to show you guys players in the 80s and 90s could hang with guys in the 2000s and who played in the 2010s. And for someone like Gilbert, we all know this, kind of a yapper or a talker, hypes himself up, hypes his stories up, makes them much more impressive than they actually were. As looking at the game logs, the game film, the clutch time moments, Stockton and Payton destroyed this guy time and time again. So, as always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.